Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie into an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer, or the kids' room, or the garage. You know how we've been doing it. And thank you for being here and for your partnership in this ministry. I am so thankful for you. So, I'm not in my office, as you can tell. I am actually at our Synod Assembly, our gathering of saints, as we talk about church business, as we talk about what it means to be church together, and all of that. I'm in Sun River, Oregon, and yeah, it's great. I'm in this room where I'm staying, which it is almost daunting. It is, it's pretty cool. I kind of want, like, I think I got put in the wrong room. Anyway, so I thought, let's do a Dollar Store Children's Sermon. This is for the 7th Sunday of Easter, May 29th. It's a couple of weeks after we're over, this is May 14th right now, and we're doing our Synod Assembly, but I thought I'm going to take the opportunity to do a Dollar Store Children's Sermon. All right, for today, I'm looking at the gospel lesson, which is all about that Jesus is talking about how Jesus and God and us, we are all one. That when we come together, through the power of Christ and through the power of God, we are folded into the promise and we are one. So there's a couple of different springboards that I'd been playing around with. They all had to do with magic tricks. Like a while back, I had one that was using cotton twine that had like 5 different interwoven things, and you could either talk about that being 5 strands interwoven together to make one, and then there was the way you also could show them, anyway. You could look back on that. You could do a search on the Dollar Store Children's Sermon site, which is dskidssermons.com, and you can do a search there and do cotton twine, and you could find that. What I am using is a rope, 3 pieces of rope that I've tied together, and that we are going to talk about being one. That these ropes tied together, they are now completely one. Yes, completely. Yep, one rope. But Pastor, that's 3 ropes and they're just tied together. What? What do you mean? I mean, they're one. It's one. It's one. Yes, they're tied together, but it makes it into one. Oh, anyway, that's my really bad impersonation of one of our kids. But this is the springboard. You've got a rope. You've got 3 pieces of rope tied together, talking about how they're one. But they're not really one because they're tied together. However, you've got here. That one comes off. And the sound effects, of course, are necessary. And then a little delayed there on the not pause. Anyway, and now it is one. See, the thing is that we are one. Jesus says so. Says in the gospel, we are made one with Jesus and with God, and that's the promise. But there are things in our lives that make us question that, make us wonder if we actually are one, whether it be our sins, whether it be things that I feel like I've messed up with. Maybe I don't feel like I'm good enough, and God couldn't pick me. What are you talking about? Well, Jesus says so, and thus, I like that. I'm going to use that word. Thus, it is so, and we are one, and that just because when we look at it and we go, it doesn't look like it's one. It doesn't look like it's one. We make assumptions. We question. We wonder, but it's one. So that's the springboard. That's what I'm doing. Having a rope, and it's I don't really have to explain what I did, but I had a piece of rope. At the end of the rope, I had a long rope. I cut two pieces that were long enough that allowed me to tie somewhere in the rope, just tie it around and make it, when it's tied, when you know that it's just a piece of rope tied around it, sometimes it's harder to see. You're like, oh, I don't know if that's a piece of that. Well, when you think, and I've told you that it's a rope tied together, pieces of rope tied together, then that's what you see. And I mean, isn't that how life is? I mean, when we've been told you haven't measured up, when you've been told that you fail, when you've been told you aren't loved, when you've been told all of these things, you start to believe it. You start to believe that, for example, that we're not one, that this is just a silly tied together like that. But when in actuality the rope is one. In actuality, through Jesus Christ, we are part of the promise that God has poured out upon us. So that's the children's sermon for this Sunday. I hope it can be useful for your own thinking, for your own children's sermon, your springboard. And as always, thank you so much for being part of this partnership in the ministry. And remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Any way that you can help and get the word out, I appreciate you so much. So thank you. And you're rocking it. Like if your congregation forgets to tell you, let me tell you, you are rocking it. So thank you so much. And I will see you next week. All right? Peace.